What makes you happy? One of the things I have loved about diving into the research on the US study on happiness in 2024 is what makes individuals happy. And I'm also grateful to find statistics like 77% of working Americans say they intentionally try to be happier each day. Now, 87% of working Americans still want to be happier than they currently are, which means that as humans, we are all on the path and pursuit of working out our own happiness every day. And I love that. I love that it's the great unifier, that we want to be happier. The study that we did showed that there are certain things that increase people's happiness and certain things that drains people's happiness. And it also depends on different generations, different genders, different working experiences, whether you work remotely or whether you work in the office. But some of the things were universal. The number one thing that increases people's happiness is their connection to other people. And this is not uncommon. There was a long study done by Harvard University where they followed people for 4 decades to see what actually increased their happiness. And what they found was that the deep connection to the people around them mattered more than anything else. And if they had long-lasting relationships where they felt fulfilled and they felt like they were being rejuvenated by those relationships. So this study says that we are not far off. What it also shows is some interesting differences between different generations. Millennials are more likely to say that spending time with friends increases their happiness, where other generations, Gen X and Gen Z, are more likely to say spending time with family will increase their happiness. Now, while there's not a huge discrepancy, millennials are less likely to have a spouse or a partner and children, where other generations are more likely to be in a committed relationship with children of their own. And so, but it shows that across all generations, one of the things that makes us happy is finding other people to be connected with. So what are you doing to increase your connections to others? And how are you building positive relationships? One of the things that I also hear in my work is that adult relationships and friendships are really tricky. So people who are wanting to find relationships, wanting to find friendships, wanting to have connections, are having a hard time finding those relationships. But this information and this research shows that we have to be committed to it. If your relationships have changed over time, if you're not as connected to the people that you were 5 years ago, lots has changed over the last 5 years. The way that you look at the world might be different, and you might need to have new relationships and new connections. You might need to find different networking groups, different friend groups, reach out to different people, find different people that you can connect with at work, or if you work remotely, it's even more important for you. While most people said the ability to choose their work environment was an important part of their daily happiness, this study showed that people who work in an office environment are actually happier than those who work remotely. Can you believe that? We think we want to work remotely, but most of us are human beings that want human connections. Even introverts said that they were happier when they are around others in the times that matter most. Now, there are other things that you can do, but think about your current family connections and your current friend connections. What are you doing each week to spend time with people that you care about so that you can increase your happiness? Because that is one great way to be intentionally happy. Other factors obviously increase happiness. Among millennials, listening to music and watching television or other fun media was important to them, while other people in different generations said pursuing hobbies, traveling, or having special memories around eating or drinking, which is, as you know, one of my very favorite things. But it's interesting to see that all of these factors are things that we have to say to ourselves, how can I be intentionally happy? Remember that my mission is to help people stop thinking that happiness is a byproduct of the actions that we take in our life. Happiness is what we choose despite our circumstances, which means that if we want to live our happiest life, there are things that we can do that increase our happiness, and we have to be intentional about it. I tell my individual clients all the time, you need to create your happiness list. What is on your joy list? I want you to write down 30 things that are free, no cost, that increase your happiness. And I want you to write down 30 things that have a cost. and write down what makes you happy. Do you have a happy playlist? Do you have friends that you can reach out to? Do you have a hobby or interest? Do you have physical activities that you enjoy doing? Write them all down. And as simple as it is to say, when I am happy, I can do this. But sometimes in that moment when we need it the most, it's really hard to remember what makes us happy. And we need to have it at our fingertips. So while it sounds like a simple activity, it actually will be something that brings you happiness. And it might take some time. So don't feel like you can just sit down and jot down a 60 item list right off of the bat. You might need to put a piece of paper up on your bathroom mirror, and for a week, think about different things. And then when something pops into your mind, you'll think, oh, I need to write that on my happiness list. And I'm happy to do that. And so you'll remember that, and that list will start to grow over time as you remember different things. I also want you to think about, what did you enjoy doing as a teen? What did you enjoy doing as a kid? What did you enjoy doing in college? Now, some of those things probably shouldn't be repeated, but some of them could be insights into little individual tasks and ideas, or things that you used to do that you have somehow forgotten in an effort to be an adult and provide for your needs and to fulfill a job and those dreams. And while all of that is good and important and really an essential part of adulting in the 2020s, we also have to figure out what makes us happy. I think one of the things that I have learned over the last 4 years, as the world has shifted and changed, and as we've gone from being people who stayed home to being people who left and adapted to a different world, is that what makes us happy has changed too. And so there are some things that I used to do that don't work anymore. And there are some things that I used to do that I stopped doing that I actually really needed to bring back. Working on our happiness and finding and discovering and remembering the things that make us happy cannot be a back burner subject. We have to make it a front burner approach. We can't allow our happiness to be something that we can worry about later, or that we can think about when we have time. We need to be daily thinking about the things that we can do to improve our happiness each day. Because when we need it the most, when we've reached that space of overwhelm or burnout, it is too late. It's the things that we do regularly, the regular actions that bring us regular results in our life, that can help us maintain positive, healthy well-being, and can help us handle the individual micro stressors that come our way, whether they're coming our way at work or whether they're coming our way in our personal life. As long as we have a general sense of well-being that helps us build our happiness and our resilience, we are better able to handle the individual things that come up. And so know that focusing on your happiness is not selfish. In fact, it's something that you should be doing in order to make sure that you can give to all of the other places and roles that you have to play. Who we are matters. And what the research shows is that when we know what makes us happy and when we're doing what makes us happy, we are able not to just be happy for us, but to be happier for the people around us. What are you going to do this week that makes you happy? And I'd love for you to share in the comments, what brings you joy? What are the simple things that you do? What are the things that you invest in? What makes you excited? Like, as happy as I am to go to Disneyland and I think about my next Disney trip all the time, or regularly, or even this week, in fact, there have to be other things that I can do within my own hometown, within my own home, within my own brain, that will bring me to happy moments, because I can't do that all the time. Or at least, even if I could, I probably shouldn't, right? So what is that list that you can be intentional about as you improve your happiness? But here's the other thing. As you prioritize your own happiness and as you do things in life that makes you happy, you actually are influencing other people and giving them permission to do the same, and helping them see that it's important to prioritize the things that bring you joy. If you're a busy mom, a busy professional, a busy entrepreneur, a busy CEO, or even somebody who is just busy in their community, regardless of what keeps you busy, you have to do the things that make you you. I'm cheering you on as you do this, and I can't wait to see your happiness list. I'd love for you to share them so that we can see what makes you tick, but also so that other people can get ideas as well. Thank you for watching this episode. Feel free to share it with others that might be beneficial for them. And think about the different people in your life that you can start to connect with, and that maybe connecting and having a conversation like this will be a way to improve that relationship. Have a great week and make it the happiest.